Well, we had been trying for over a year to have our first child, and we had just gone in for a fertility consultation, and they told us that we had less than a 2% chance of ever conceiving naturally, and that there was really nothing that we could do to change those statistics. And so I started doing research on alternative methods, and that led me to Chris's website and made an appointment and came in. Yeah, he said relax, and that we're gonna get there, that we're gonna get there, and that it's a process, but that there was no reason to think that I wouldn't be able to get pregnant, and that we wouldn't be able to have our own biological children. Well, I felt completely out of control. I mean, we had been told that there was nothing that we could do except for, pay lots and lots of money, and that there were no changes that I could make on my own lifestyle or otherwise. After coming in and meeting with Chris, it really transformed my outlook, because right away there was a very clear path of changes that I could make to diet and lifestyle that made me feel so much more in control of the whole situation, and calmer about the process, and more in tune with it, that just things were going to be okay, and that there was a goal, and that there were things that I could do to help reach that goal that were in my control. Oh God, when somebody says 2% chance, and even if you do IVF, we were told that we had, I think, like a 40% chance of having a live birth. I mean, that's pretty terrifying. I was the lowest I think I've ever been. We'd been trying, and at the fertility clinic also, they didn't talk to me about whether I had been, tracking my ovulation even. It was just this one simple blanket statement based on, a couple of hormone tests. There wasn't any investigation as to what we were doing, what we were trying, how often we were being intimate even. And so it felt very, just blanket statement, depressing, nothing you can do. And with my second pregnancy, we started tracking my ovulation, and my ovulation was not at all when I thought it was. So there was a huge timing issue, and in the coaching and kind of the lifestyle changes, and just looking at our technique, we were able to make changes to when I was ovulating, and really help me get a hand on what my body was doing. So I got back into touch with what my body was doing, and that for me was very empowering. Feeling like somebody was helping me figure out what my body was doing naturally. So
better?
Absolutely. The dietary changes that were recommended were really life-changing. They taking a look at, and also the exercise that we talked about, but the dietary following the dietary changes that were recommended, along with the sleep recommendations, and just the overall lifestyle change of I had to make myself healthy. I had to be in a healthy place so that my body would be fertile, so that my body would be in a place where I could get pregnant. And I've gone on subsequently to get pregnant 4 times since being under Chris's coaching and advisement. So it hasn't, with my second pregnancy, we had 2 back-to-back early miscarriages. And the doctor was just like, yeah, this is, we'll keep trying or whatever. But when I would come in for treatment from Chris, he was the one that said, this is all part of a process, and really talked me down from a ledge of seeing it as this, as these tragedies, and, instead of going back into into a depressed and down place, to look at it as part of a process, and that again we were going to end up with a healthy baby at the end, and that in order for that to happen, that this was part of the process. And so his coaching through my miscarriages just really helped me keep my eye on the ball, like that we were going to end up pregnant, and that it helped keep my stress levels down, so that I wasn't panicking. I was just saying, okay, well, what can we do differently next time? Let's take a look at my diet, reinvestigating some of the issues. And so after the 2 back-to-back miscarriages, we got pregnant a 3rd time, and that's where I am right now, just at 36 weeks pregnant. So
awesome. Now,
it was very doable. When you're looking at your options of, paying all this money for IVF and what you put your body through versus taking the control into your own hands and, following a dietary, being under dietary advisement and exercise and sleep and also getting back in touch with yourself, it's all super manageable, compared to these external processes that traditional medicine tends to lend itself to. Well, I think when I first started treatment with Chris, that I was Dr. Googling it. So I was taking every supplement under the sun in unknown quantities, that plus any wives' tales, or anything like that, plus the doctors. And so, 1 week I'd be cutting out all gluten, and then the next week it would be, 100% carbohydrates all the time. And it just felt so overwhelming because there was no clear direction, and it felt so unmanageable to try and do all of that myself. And so once I started treatment with Chris, it was just very manageable. It was, take your the suggested amount of supplements, but it wasn't like 50,000, and they were very tailored for the time in my cycle, or where we were as far as, with miscarriages and recovery and pregnancy and all that. It was very tailored for that. So it was pared down, simple, follow these steps and you will get pregnant. Follow these steps and you will feel in control. And I did. It helped.
Awesome.
Oh my goodness. I can't even say enough good things about even how much this has opened my mind to me being in control. That this partnership with Chris has helped me so much just to get to the finish line. Everything else that's out there is going to teach you that that you're not in charge, that it's somebody else and you don't understand it and all of that. I would absolutely say give it a try. I mean, there's nothing to lose and everything to gain. That if you're serious about your fertility goals and your overall health, that you should give it a try. Yeah. Chris is very direct. I mean, he tells it to you like it is, and you follow what he says, and it works.